with love, light, and roses. We're going to see what comes out for us today. What do we need to know? I feel like some of you have some questions that Spirit wants to answer. This could be pressing, it feels like, for some of you. Others, it's more existential, but to an extent. But I think what is being focused here are the questions you have about yourself, about your life. Some of you are just very focused and very persistent, it feels like. Or you could be just in a state of upheaval. There's just a great determination and focus to understand. So it sounds like you. Some of these messages may be for you. So let's see here. I'm going to cut the deck. Let's see when I feel it. Right, we have the drill sergeant there and the palette knife. I'm getting create your future, create your life. Sometimes it's not very easy, but in the way of painting, you know, easily just wiping paint on a canvas. Sometimes we do have to take a little hard tool to create some texture, to create adhesion, to manipulate the scene, to add some sort of effect. So it's, why is this coming up? It just feels like some of you, it's like, although if we want to call it the easy way, the path of least resistance is the right path. Some of you, it's like you're afraid to go forward and take risk. And although there is a path of least resistance is usually the best path, where you're not paddling upstream, what Abraham Hicks would often say, sometimes there is often a need to be brave, to be courageous, to take risk, which can be simply being open to new ideas, making change, willing to do something different. So I'm going to put this out for many of you who resonate with this. Some of you, I feel like you would definitely know this is for you. And know that Spirit and even, you know, your inner self is asking you to be brave. Like, things are going to work out better than you perceive, than you believe. And it's just sometimes you have to be willing to put a little effort, right, into the mix, to not be afraid to do something different, to construct, try something brand new. So let's press on. We have the 2-inch brush, and we have the meadow. And pull one more. We have the darkness. Oh, I say I'll pull one more, and yet already I feel one more after that. That usually happens. The happy tree. Okay, you know me. A lot of you know me. We'll just do this. We'll just do this. Alrighty. So, the 2-inch brush is kind of taking a little bit of an expansion off of here, but we're focusing mostly on how we are constructing our life in the sense of not only taking risk, but doing things different than we would perceive, or not perceive, than we would normally do. For instance, this famous 2-inch brush. I mean, who would have known that they could paint an entire beautiful mountain scene with just a 2-inch brush? A lot of this is having to deal with conventional thinking for some of you, relating to not only procedure but tradition, habits, practices, the norms of things. Some of you, it's really about stepping out of what you feel is normal, traditional, the things that you must do in certain ways, doing them in certain ways. and really constructing something brand new for yourself. This is allowing yourself to think more broadly, to become more broad in who you are, rather than simply following tradition for tradition's sake. Some of you've probably been flustered with this already. You're just afraid of stepping out, putting your toe in the water, going against the current of social norms. This could be because of fear with family, or it could be connected to a job, a worry about losing a job, going down another path. I'm getting someone where you do want to go down another path, and this seems to be connected to some sort of career, but you don't want to lose what you've worked so hard for already. It feels like you do have a good income. Some of you, this is going to be different. It's not like everyone is making over 60, 80,000, 100,000 or more a year. Some of you, it could be less, but for you, it is a great accomplishment, or a mild accomplishment. I'm getting the phrase mild accomplishment is what some of you would pointedly say. And then there's other great benefits, health benefits. Maybe you like the people you work with, but there's all these reasons why not to, because you're in such a secure place, and who would be so ungrateful to give that up, right? Especially if you have family and others who depend upon you. And I feel like for some of you, you have these same ideas being spoken to you by others, kind of persuading you to stand still, or to reject any offers coming your way, which could be risky. But I feel like with this risk, with this chance, and some of you, this will be coming. It could be, because most of you, a lot of you, I do feel like this is something you may already know you're in the midst of, you're thinking about. Others, this is what's coming up for, and you will know it when it comes. So don't just take everything as I say it will, because it has to resonate, and you would know it in your heart, in your spirit, but in your mind. But know that this opportunity is kind of the breakthrough. It's given me a scenario of a singer or an actor. You know, they've been working so hard, and they're not getting a lot of prospects, or nothing fruitful from what they have done. And this big opportunity comes. And even if it doesn't seem like a big opportunity, there is some risk involved. It could be that they feel like they don't have the skill set. They're not the first choice. They have to give up so much. Maybe they don't have a lot of money, and they would have to travel and have all these expenditures on their own behalf, and it would be a real struggle. However, they don't recognize that it would pay off, or there's that great potential that it can. And I feel like that's what Spirit's trying to tell you. And some of you, you may even kind of get a feeling that there would be a great payoff, or it'll work out in some way, or this is the right path. You just don't know how it will come about. And for some of you, just there is no viewpoint anywhere near the possibility or the prospects of hope, of seeing how this could happen in a positive way. You're not seeing how these things would connect. How am I going to get the money? How am I going to get these resources? How am I going to get from here to over there when I need this, this, and this, and this, and I don't have any of that? When I don't have family support, when I feel alone. And Spirit's like, you don't have to worry about any of that. I'm taking care of it. I feel like there's going to be supportive people for some of you. They're going to be excited and want to help out. Depending on what this is, you really don't have to worry about all of that. It's like things will start to fall into place once you make the decision to move forward and be open to this, and take that chance and that risk and say, yes, this is what I want, and this is what's going to happen. So we come into the meadow here, and I feel like there is a lot more energy to this card suddenly. So let me dial in real quick before we move on. I just feel a lot of energy with the solar plexus. So, you know, really coming into a sense of self here, supporting yourself, believing in yourself, and in what you deserve. Some of you, this is something you've been working towards for a long time. Others, you've earned this in one way or another throughout your lifetime, and even in past lifetimes. I'm getting ancestral energy. So whether through the the energetic, generational energetic shift. It could be that positive energy has come through to support you. Your ancestors have come in to support you, or it could be that I'm getting for very few rare people who resonate with this. You have reincarnated in your ancestral line multiple times, and if it's not directly in the line you're in now, it's someone near it. So a relative near the line you're in, or close family friend. Maybe these families have been close for decades, generations, but you've done a lot of work, and that energy, positive energy, is coming back to support you. Others, you've actually requested, what's in my vortex? Anything that I've earned that is positive, money, resources, friendships, breakthroughs. I've earned it. I've earned this, and it's in my vortex, and I want it, but I'm calling it in right now, and so that is coming for you. Spirit also is blessing some of you, so it may not be that you've asked for this particularly, but this is coming in to support you because you deserve it, you need it. This is going to help you in multiple other ways in the future, so take it as a stepping stone as well. But let's move on to the meadow. And I feel like, the meadow, it's an open, wide space, right? So at least most of the time. I don't know if we want to call it a prairie, but this card definitely saying meadow here. But I feel like this is, for some of you, talking about exposure, and which connects with what we were talking about, because when it comes to risk, putting ourselves out there, what is that? That is exposure, which means we're talking about vulnerability. And I feel like some of you do have an issue with this, and you won't be alone. That's nothing new, right? But through this vulnerable risk, through this act of vulnerability, recognizing it, coming to terms with it, being courageous, going through with it, it's like it helps open up a new self or new energies within yourself, for development, new clarity, insight. A lot of the things that you've been wanting are in the meadow, is what Spirit is saying. And I feel that many of you are resonating. Some of you may have even dreamt of a meadow or being out in nature in some way. Others, you have a deep connection to nature, to animals, to the earth. I feel like some of you really do need to do some grounding work. Go out and ground. Just be in nature. Allow it to really heal you. Lay on the earth. Walk on the earth. Be careful, because if you're doing that at a public place or a park, people do leave things around. So just be careful. Take care of yourself. But you do need to have some connection. I see some people going out and hiking, going for long walks. But no matter how you do it, even if you're just out in your own yard or on the porch or your balcony, you need to be out there. It'll help relax you. Some of you really need a lot of chakra work to focus on that clearing of energy and balancing, and nature will definitely help you with that. Some of you, it's really talking about also pulling in energy to clear and balance out your root chakra, or connecting with your root chakra more. Some of you, you're so focused with the upper chakras, you haven't really paid attention to your lower chakras, particularly in your root. Your root, that's where you're going to find your energies that are stored for family, for feelings of security or insecurity, vulnerability. And so you really need to address that, particularly if you've had any encounters or experience with negative energies. So this could be dealing with issues of abuse, dealing with sorrow, pain, grief, betrayal, anything, dealing with relationships, heartache. I feel like anything that has helped you to feel threatened, not really secure in yourself, you're going to need that grounding work, and working with the root chakra would definitely help you. Some of you, even your sacral needs some work, and your solar plexus, okay, and others definitely your heart chakra as well, though mostly it's going to be the lower chakras. So we have the darkness. Some of you're like, yes, I know, I've been through a lot. I have been through a lot of darkness, whether with people, whether it's connected to people or situations, other encounters. It's like this has really, whatever it is for you, this is, for those who resonate, this is going to be like it's already happened. You've already gone through it. It was a very tough ordeal. Some of you thought you were going to drown and not make it. You came in through the other side, not necessarily unscathed, but changed. Really helping you to be the best person that you can be. Some of you, this is because you asked for something. Although I doubt that you thought that what you went through would be exactly what you would go through. I don't think you were thinking about that. They're giving me a story about myself. I asked, I was tired of being afraid, of having issues with being courageous and allowing fear to dictate a lot of my life. I can relate. My childhood and everything up until now was, or at least for the most of my young adulthood and childhood, I've been dealing with abuse and betrayal and hopelessness. And so just a lot of darkness. And then I went through second awakening and healing, and there is even more darkness. I never thought I would ever dream about going through anything that I went through, and I won't mention it here but in detail, but I did. And I have noticed things about myself, come to terms with myself, and revisited parts of myself that I've forgotten. And I am less afraid and stronger for it, even if at the time I thought I wasn't and was going crazy. So with that said, Spirit is talking about the purpose of that darkness to show your light and your strength and your courage and your capability. A lot of you, this could be like a dark night of a soul period. This could be just even mundane entanglements that you were able to overcome. Financial insecurity, whatever it is for you. So we have the snow. And it really, to me, it's bringing up an image of that period of winter where it's cold and everything's becoming kind of silent. Wherever, if you live in a cold area that snows, in that period where you have snow is everywhere, just mounds of it. The trees are covered in it. And depending on where you are, even the trees are bare. And, you do all you can to keep warm, without blowing up your electric, right? Your bill. And yet with all of that, at the same time, we have coziness, we have comfort and warmth and joy. And I feel for many of you, a lot of what is transpiring and unfolding for you is in the winter time. And at the time of this recording, it is November of 2024. So we're in that fall period. Particularly where I live, it's only just now getting cold. Whereas before, it usually does start getting cold. Usually, if not by the end of September, definitely in October. But you know how the weather has changed. But I feel like some of you, you're starting to come into balance more within yourself. Coming into some sort of prosperity. This is where your change is coming. And some of you, you've already started to notice this change. Okay, opportunities are rising. Others, along with that, we can say winter can represent scarcity, right? Insecurity. Because with winter, we have the coldness, and not everyone has that warmth and joy, right? Sometimes in that period, we have learned to be fearful because, we don't have a lot of money during this time. People are afraid of being evicted or not being able to pay all of their utilities, not having enough food. Some of you, it's this learned ideology, this learned programming. And I can attest to that because a lot with what I endured as a child, there were times where we didn't have electric, we didn't have heat, we didn't have hot water, we didn't have food. We were lucky to scrape ingredients to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something. So, and usually as a child, although it happened anytime really, a lot of my memories of that is in the wintertime. And so for some of you, if you can relate, winter can also, or the snow can be seen as not a prosperous, warm time, right? A time of reflection, yes, but not always in a good way. And so I feel like this is talking about a change. If you relate to that, like we can put ourselves to think forwardly, to change the way we think about winter and about the snow, and really allow ourselves to be open-minded so that we can receive all the good things needed. It's just, I feel for a lot of you, especially with the holiday times, because we do have that joy and jovial happiness celebration. That period, that energy is going to be a reflection of what Spirit is trying to bring to you during this time. Like I said, right now it is fall. So those who are watching it at the time that I upload this, could be that by winter. So whatever winter is for you, if it's in December and January, or if it's in the later months, it's like that's where, although I feel like most of this is going to be in the former, that's where a lot of this change is coming through. Starting to see that difference. It's like the energies are starting to balance. A lot of your prayers are being answered. Things are a lot less stress. I feel like some of you are just starting to feel, and eventually will be feeling, at equilibrium. And it's like this relief. And that's where we come into this happy tree. And the Spirit is really saying that what would help you now is to start thinking and feeling the energy of the happy tree. The happy tree is all about celebration, completion, having that happiness and joy, that gratitude, that thankfulness, that really good feeling of relief and just the static, and I feel like that's what Spirit wants you to be in, that kind of mode of thinking, that kind of mode of feeling. That would help manifest a lot of this energy quicker and really allow those helping you, angels, source energy, ancestors, friends, family, whoever, it would help them and the situations to come about easier, okay? So that your own energy won't be fighting against the divine currents that are trying to bring all of this through, right? So let's see, what else does Spirit have for us? So I made these cards myself, so not all of them have pictures. Some of them are just phrases and words. It is very soothing, and I just enjoy creating things. So, definitely think about creating your own cards. You can put your own intentions and, create them to exactly what you need. So you don't always have to have like a million card decks. And yeah, you can print them if you want to make them more professional. But, I found that I really enjoyed this so much. Maybe one more. Alrighty. Bottom is empath and healer. I feel like I'm going to put this out. And this too. This seems like that has been a part of a lot of your journey. So many of you, broken heart damage, candy and sweet. So many of you are empaths. If you know that or not, you're very empathic. You could also be healers. But for most of you, though, that don't resonate, even if you do, I feel like you've been in a period of healing yourself. And that's what this has all been. If you've been in a period of self-reflection where you're not out, it's kind of like being the hermit in the tarot. You're kind of solitary at the moment, just focusing on yourself, being more inward, right? It's really allowing yourself to heal and to come about, to go through this and to develop so that you can set that foundation for the happy tree, right? So know that you are safe and protected. I feel like a lot of you have a lot of passed on family members, ancestors with you, angels, guides, but for a lot of you, it's more of the former. You may even have felt them in your bedroom. I feel some right now watching you. Some of them are just wanting to give you that validation. If you've seen lights flickering, maybe bedroom lights or coming on, I know I can attest to that. It's frustrating because I have to get up and turn them back off. But some of you may feel them in your bedroom, like while you're laying down. I don't know why I get a sensation like maybe they touch your foot or you feel the bed slump down. They're saying, yes, you can speak to them. If it bothers you, you can tell them that they're bothering you. Be mindful, though, because for some reason, I do have to tell you that don't just assume. You can speak to them and try to get identification. But don't just assume, because I do feel like there are some people out there where you're encountering things and it may not feel nice. And it's not your ancestors. It is not your passed on family members or loved ones. You know that you have the ability to tell them to go away and to not come back. Call upon your angels, call upon Archangel Raphael to protect you. Know that you're safe. Some of you, you're going through this for a purpose. And know that you have that inner divine strength. Don't give up. Don't give up. Let's go on to something more positive. That came out of the blue, that last bit. Such strong energy. Alrighty, so we have peace, dove, and harmony. Know that this is the type of energy that's coming in for a lot of you. You've been having a lot of signs for this. So some of you, you've been having, let's say, angel signs. So angel numbers, tokens coming across your path, like coins, etc. Things that will catch your eye, butterflies, whatever is meaningful to you. Some of you even seeing something that's been that's significant in the sense of reminding you of a passed on loved one, just letting you know they're around you, that you're safe, to trust yourself. I feel like many of you, you've just, because my solar plexus is still being pulled from that energy before, and it's like you're just so afraid. And it's not just for those where they are dealing with something that may be bothering them, but it's like with everyday energies as well. Worried about the rent, worried about the kids, worried about groceries, worried about work, worry about school, worry about this, and this. And it's like you need to really allow yourself to have that moment of breath, right? To relax, to balance, to breathe, and to trust that everything's going to work out. Okay, some of you really need to learn to delegate, to not put everything on your shoulders. And some of you really need to learn to let go, because you're pushing so hard for certain things to work out or to do something in a particular way, to come about in a particular way. And really you're getting the messages that you really need to let it go. It's not working out. But not all of you are understanding that or seeing it in that way. You're seeing it as a great challenge that you have to get over. And that's not necessarily the case. So if that resonates, you need to really kind of take a step back, try to see the bigger picture of things, and ask yourself, is it in my best interest to let this go? to go about it in a different way, because maybe you don't let go of it entirely, you do things differently. Maybe call in some people to help you get some ideas. Sometimes you just have to not be afraid to ask for help, to accept resources, to accept gifts. I'm getting some people are being offered some things, and you just, whether it's your own pride or embarrassment or whatever it is you're feeling, you're just allowing yourself to accept this, to accept what you need to bring peace and harmony into your life, as well as happiness and joy. Listen to truth is the phrase I'm picking up here. Some of you, this could literally be talking about listen to the advice you hear around you, particularly if you hear this over and over in a roundabout way. It's kind of like the person I'm thinking of, they already know this, they kind of feel it within themselves, but the other people have mentioned this in one way or another, what they've been thinking but not wanting to do for some reason, or feel like they can't do. But you can. I'm also getting a mental picture of someone sticking their head in the sand, not wanting to face up to some sort of truth, or they're in some sort of denial. But you really need to I'm getting where you really need to perk up and listen and not be afraid to face that truth, right? That's going to point you in the right direction. And here's the compass. Listen to your inner compass. It's not broken. I don't know if some of you have been thinking, oh, it's broken, I don't understand. That can't be possibly what it's talking about, blah, blah, blah. Trust yourself. Ask for divine guidance and for extra clarity if you're having issues. But I feel like this is validating someone in some way. I'm not sure how, because I'm not saying anything more specifically, but I do feel like you will know what I'm talking about, and that this is very validating, this moment right here. So yes, go forward, do what you know is right for you. If it feels good and feels divine in your heart, and obviously that answer is yes. We have chakras. So as I mentioned before, a lot of us need to do some chakra work, chakra healing. This is talking about balance, not only in the body and mind, but body, mind, and heart and spirit. Some of you, this is talking about bringing balance to your home, to your work life, whatever that is for you. Other aspects of your life, relationships. So really focusing on healing, decluttering for some of you, and allowing yourself to let go of things that hinder you, that make you feel like you can't expand, you can't be who you are. Because I'm getting this feeling of being pressed together, of tied up, and kind of claustrophobic, and some of you have physical symptoms of some sort of healing issue or health issue. I'm just going to put this disclaimer out there. Obviously, go see a doctor or a psychiatrist, therapist, whoever you do need. But I feel like a lot of these stuck energies could be energies from the past even. Anything from anger to sorrow to grief to pain. Some of you have been neglecting your health purposely. Spirit wants you to take care of yourself. Anything from diet, not necessarily dieting to lose weight, but just healthier eating, paying attention to how your body reacts to the foods you eat. If you don't feel good after it, it's most likely in your best interest not to eat it. Especially if it doesn't make you feel good while you're eating it. But definitely, it's like some of you get this bloating, you get this heartburn, you get gastrointestinal issues, and that's a long stream of effects that I'm not going to list here. That can be very we all know what it feels like to be stuck in the bathroom, but I'm getting also headaches, blood pressure issues, diabetes. Some of you don't know what's wrong with you. Others, it's like you've been dealing with the doctors and they think it could be an autoimmune. Cancer even, it's like you don't understand how much of your life and the energies within and around you affect you. You know, once they start to manifest into physical forms, they can also connect or influence physical health issues, as well as mental health issues, emotional health issues, etc. So everything is connected, energy. Spirit really wants you to take care of yourself, your family, your guides. They all are trying to help you to get the best way. And some of you are like, well, I can't afford this. I can't afford to go to the doctor. I can't do this. I can't do that. Be open to remedies. Be open to a path towards the healing you need or want. Some of you, it could be just changing certain things in your lifestyle. So start there if that is what you feel is right for you. But know that a lot of these changes, it's all about opening up your mind, changing how you're thinking, how you're feeling, being more positive in the approach, and so that you can stop that repetitive negative energy pattern that is creating and sustaining a lot of these negative experiences that can over time help you to improve your health. You know, I'm also getting how Abraham Hicks also talks about you know, visualizing positive health, keeping that feeling of good health, maintaining it in your energy sphere, and you know, over time you will see that manifest, right? We have silver lining, hope, patience, faith, and blessing. So throughout these storms, throughout the negativity, a lot of you, you know, like, it's just kind of confirming, you know, what I said before, that a lot of good things are coming out of this. Excuse me. It's like birthing great things out of what you thought was negative, strained encounters, stressful relationships. Ooh, you may not see him, but off camera, my Benji is here. He's just hopped onto my desk, and hopefully he won't knock over the camera. But he's here sharing his love. I feel his energy of curiosity and love so much. But silver lining, hope, patience, faith, and blessing. Know that things are going to be unfolding positively for many of you. You've got to do what you can to keep that vibration high and balanced. You know, do what's best for you as far as making these life changes. Think, ruminate. So a lot of you being encouraged to really do some introspection. Think about things. So this isn't anything new. I've kind of been talking about it in a roundabout way. Maybe take time, journal if that will help you to see things clearly. I see someone writing down lists of what they want versus what they don't want. Focus on what you do want, though, because you don't want to manifest what you don't want. And you tend to manifest things that you focus your mind on, right? So be careful of that. Feminine energy. A lot of you, it's a time where you're developing more of your heart energy, more of your feminine energy. So your sacral energy, that energy of creation and love. Not that the masculine energy can't deal with love, but you know, it's a different expression of it, right? And this isn't just talking about women or any kind of sex or gender, this gender expression. This is talking about the feminine divine energy. And some of you are really coming to terms with this energy, coming into it more, breaking away from that closed hard heart that you've earned and took on from all of the negative things in your life because you wanted to protect yourself. You didn't want to be hurt anymore. I'm getting the sense where you felt like you had to be more in your masculine energy in order to be accepted by those around you, because it's given me a sense of my own family where, you know, it's about the brute versus the intellect versus the emotional versus the empathetic, you know, the sensitivity type nature of a person and the more compassionate nature. And so a lot of people can grow up thinking those kinds of qualities or energies, characteristics can be seen as weakness, but it's not. A lot of them are really strengths. So seeing the other side of that, coming into seeing the beauty of those energies, the power and strength of those energies, your capability in working through that energy. And it's really, for some of you, going to help with that, the healing, you know, when we're talking about the chakras earlier. Confused, winding path, rerouting path. So a lot of you, you know, when I wrote this card, I was thinking about a GPS, you know, when it says rerouting, you know, a lot of this confusion is coming to terms for a lot of you. I don't see that right now for many of you, but eventually I do see that clarity coming in. But this is kind of like what you've been on in one way or another. Even if you've gotten some clarity and understanding, then you find yourself back in this energy again. It's like this flip-flop. You get to a little bit of equilibrium, and then you're like, okay, what the heck am I thinking now? What is going on? So you could be in this kind of energy right now mentally. But, you know, call in your guidance. Like I said, work on your chakras, on your life. And a lot of this will help in bringing clarity to your mind about things. Cup of tea, culture, practice. So a cup of tea, you know, of course we can think of when we see a cup of tea or hear about it, you know, we think of that phrase when they say, well, that person or that thing or whatever isn't my cup of tea. And that's true. We do have variations, variety in life. But we have to remind ourselves that culture, practices, you know, so it's kind of touching on what I was talking about before, about habits, doing things for the sake of tradition. It was someone's cup of tea and people were influenced to take it on, but you don't have to carry that energy anymore. If it's not your cup of tea, don't drink it, right? Don't accept it. Change it. Get you a different cup of tea. Maybe you don't want tea at all. Regardless, this is about you making choices about you, who you are, what you believe in, your integrity. All of that makes up who you are. So you got to really, that goes with that introspection, I suppose. The rumination of who you are, your life, what it's going to be, what you look like, what you stand for, etc. As if we don't need any further validation. Inspect, look closer at your life, at yourself. What do you want from life? What do you want it to look like? What have you always wanted? What do you feel like you're being called to do at this time that would make you happy? What is drawing you, right? And who are you? Some of you, your focus is more about who you are, recreating yourself, redefining yourself in your life, coming to terms with the true divine self. Abundance, heavenly gifts, windfall. This is awesome. A lot of you coming into this, like I've been saying, and some of you, you know, as we get into the winter, some of you are going to come into opportunities, offers, etc. that would lead to this, if not right away. Definitely by spring for many of you in the summer. But I do feel, you know, Spirit is trying to bless you all who resonate with this. Some of you have been asking for certain things, yes. But others, I feel like you're going to have a surprise. It could be something in the sense of it's way better than what you asked for, what you've been expecting. But it could be also that Spirit is blessing you what would seem like out of the blue, because you deserve it, because it's needed at this time. Because you've earned it in the sense of what you've been putting out, what you're manifesting, what you've been asking for. And it may not be things you've been recently asking for. It could be things that you've been asking for in the past. Some of you, I feel like you may have even forgotten about these requests. But know that those are on the horizon for many of you. Some of you, definitely, if you make the positive changes you need to make. Music is very important for some of you. It's about a romance here. It's like you've been asking about characteristics about your romance or your intended. You may not have met them yet. It's like, who is my true love? And they're very into music. And you may sing or play an instrument or want to play an instrument, or maybe you're learning right now. So maybe this could be more creative arts. So painting, crafting, etc. But I'm getting a lot of music. And for others, it's like this is really talking about what can help with healing, what usually helps raise your vibration or balance it. It could be that you have a great connection to music. So when you listen to music, or when you play it, or when you sing it, it just really uplifts you. And that's your way of meditating. If you can really connect and lose yourself in it, then that heart space connection, right? But others, it's when I was going back to that romance connection, they do have either a background in music, or they have some sort of connection, or maybe they know people in music. Because I'm getting someone who has, I don't know, connections to certain types of musicians, or maybe they can get tickets to concerts or something. They may be someone who's just in a private group playing in some sort of orchestral music or classical music, contemporary classical, because I see people in suits, and it looks like it's maybe 4 or 5 people, maybe 6 people. I'm getting more 4 or 5, and they're playing string instruments, because I see a few cellos. It could be other, they're all sitting down, so they're instruments that they sit down for. Of course, you could play a flute and still sit down, right? But I see that in my mind, so take that as it may for you. If it resonates, this could be a confirmation. It could be just an indication. Some of you, it's like, maybe asking you to open up your social calendars a little bit. Some of you, you're it's not exactly that you're like totally introverted, but you're just not used to socializing. This could be from your upbringing. You like people, you like going out and having fun, but you're just not used to going out, so you don't. But it's like, go out and do things, and this will help attract and allow you, because a lot of what you've been asking for includes either meeting new friends, or maybe even a romantic partner. But I'm getting also some of the things you've asked for are going to come through people that you meet. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be musical concerts. I'm getting other things, going to a museum maybe, comedy clubs, just something different, but it's going to be tied to your interests, okay? A lot of you, though, you do have interest with music. I'm even picking up reading for some reason. So, I don't know, maybe a public library or a bookstore, maybe a museum of literature, famous authors, who knows. Home and security, and I feel like I gotta pull the next one too, and passport. Some of you, you do have a focus of home and security, but it's like you're trying to create that security where you are. And this is someone that kind of reminds me of myself. You never really had that place of home. You finally moved into a place on your own. You decided, okay, I'm going to make this my home. I'm going to create it. You've been working hard. Like for me, I've been decorating. We've even put, what do you call it? It's not stencils, but those stickers you could put on the wall art, and very beautiful. I love what I've done. And yet when I think about it, all that hard work, I kind of don't want to have to move. But that's not exactly what's going on with everybody. I'm just using myself as an example, because I feel like a lot of you either will be moving, or maybe an offer comes and it tempts you, but you're like, you feel stuck for some reason. You're like, I can't do this because of this, this, and this. And it may not be exactly about your home residence or relocation. It could be something else similarly, but Spirit's like, don't worry about any of that, because you can redecorate again later. You're going to have way better stuff, and you may not even have to do the decorating yourself. Don't worry about that lost money and the efforts that you've put in, because you'll get all that back. It's like, don't focus on the past. Focus on what is best for you now, and what is best for you in your future, right? What you've been asking for. Some of you, it's like you're going to meet somebody maybe, and then y'all come into a home together, or maybe they own something. You come across someone, may not be romantic, maybe you just end up coming into a connection where they, if you've been looking for a place and they happen to rent one, own one that they want to let out, or they have an empty spare space and they are willing to let you be there for free. I don't know, everyone's scenario situation is different, but that's also an example of why socializing or expanding your life into a more social, not necessarily centric in the sense of, constantly being out and sociable, but, just allowing yourself to be more sociable, to expand your friends and connections, because it's going to lead to some answers, solutions that you need, good things. Passport, traveling, you've been wanting to go somewhere and you haven't let yourself for one reason or another. It's not necessarily because of the money, although more money would help. It could be Ireland, Scotland, whatever it is for you. It's like this is going to be like an international flight for a lot of you who resonate. Others is going to be more like wanting to travel locally. And some of you could be watching overseas. So for you to travel locally, you're like, well, define locally, because 30 minutes I'm already in another not another state, in another country. Whatever it is, go out and do it. Even if it's just a simple road trip, a weekend trip, a day trip, go out, make life yours. You never know what kind of people you may meet, and this could be a way of how you expand your social sphere, your connections. Plus, it'll be really good for you, especially those who are needing to be out in nature more. I see people out in green pastures taking pictures on cliffs. Be careful, but it's just that vista is so beautiful. The ocean. Go out and have fun, live life. Don't be afraid to purchase that passport in anticipation, even if you don't have intentions of going anywhere yet. Simply having that passport, I feel like, would be a really good idea for a lot of you. And this is especially if you've already been thinking about it, like, maybe I should get my passport. It would be even just good to have a secondary or a third type of identification. Some of you are like, trying to justify it because you think, oh, you don't have the means to go, you're not exactly planning to go somewhere. Why should you get it? Well, it could be because I just need another form of identification, or you never know in the future. Go ahead and get that passport. If it feels good and you align to it, do it. Blue eyes, cold eyes, piercing eyes. So these three may not be all for you. Could be one or the other. You may be meeting someone significantly who has blue eyes, or some sort of blue eyes. Some of you may think they're more gray. I'm not really getting anything for cold eyes, piercing eyes. Piercing eyes, it could be that I feel like they're just more alluring in a way, or interesting to look at. They attract you in some way. Maybe you haven't seen eyes of that caliber before. Maybe they're the kind where they're mostly blue, but they have flecks of other colors in them, or some sort of design. Some of you, it's like they catch your eye because they're wearing some sort of contacts. And let's see, why am I getting this? Why am I picking up these energies? So some of you, it could be because, it's not just people you're meeting, but this is more about you and whatever these mean to you. But as far as having blue eyes or piercing eyes, alluring eyes, some of you do feel like you do have pretty eyes, and it's just they want to, your past on loved ones, your source energy, your divine light, just wants to reassure that you are a beautiful person, outstanding in your own right, amazing, alluring, no matter what you look like. Others, you know, this could be relating to the past of maybe you've met someone with these eyes. Some of you, this kind of reminds me of what I picked up in another reading. It's like you're trying to avoid people with blue eyes because you've had a very negative encounter with someone with blue eyes, and you know, be careful of creating that kind of prejudice, because some really nice people with blue eyes you might meet, right? Or what seems like blue eyes, even if they don't. You know, sometimes when you just glance at someone, you think you know what they look like, but you really don't. You just kind of make your mind fills in the blanks, really. You don't realize it. So just be careful of those prejudices you may be making about people, assumptions as well. Maybe that's where the cold eyes, you know, if we're talking about the connection between eyes and perception, the coldness could be where we're coming through to and encountering people, but putting off those negative experiences and energies we've encountered onto them, you know. And I guess, you know, we can call it projecting, right? So be careful of that, okay? Because it might cause you to be the reason, could be the reason why it causes you to lose or miss an opportunity, right? And we don't want that to happen. Phoenix and persevere, resilience, strength. A lot of you, this is what you've come to know about yourself or will be. Knowing that you are the Phoenix, very strong, enduring. I see you going into success and victory in many ways. A lot of you, this is what your journey's been kind of about. A lot of you have been asking to have this validation and confirmation that you are a strong person, that you are capable. And although you do feel it sometimes, you know, a lot of people do continue to ask because you do have that doubt. A lot of you, the sacred journey you've been on is all about, you know, not only persevering and pushing through, but allowing the experiences to change you in positive ways, where you let the old and the negative die, but then you rise even farther and brighter and stronger than ever before, more creative, more endearing, more compassionate and empathetic, more kind, right, and wise. But this is your reading, everyone. I trust it has helped you in so many ways. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Know that you can follow Love, Light, and Roses on Facebook and Instagram. You know, check out my website, and I will see you next time. Take care.